another day, another potential Kentucky transfer target. This one coming from the D2 level, Lincoln Memorial. Now, for people who don't know about Lincoln Memorial, it's like it's a certified D2 powerhouse. Like they've had players make it in the NBA. They are a very, very talented school. They have very talented players there. And the latest there is freshman Elyjah Freeman, who last year at Lincoln Memorial averaged 19 points a game, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 58% from the floor, 46% from three. He's a tall, athletic, very fluid kid. And he entered the transfer portal, and he has already heard from Kentucky staff, I believe it was, who reached out to him. Some of the early schools that have reached out to him since entering the transfer portal. It's been a pretty busy 24 hours for him. He has had schools on his list that have reached out to him. He's heard from UAB, New Mexico, Dayton, Vanderbilt, St. Louis, and Michigan so far. And so interesting list there. I feel like that's going a lot of different places. I can see the pitch to those schools. Elyjah Freeman, he considers himself a two-way player, three level scorer. I love when you ask kids about like what their game is like. He's like, yeah, three-level scorer, athletic, two-way player. I'm really just everything that you need me to do. I understand that now I watch this film. I do see that. Like there's some stuff with this kid. Like I think that he's gonna be very, very successful at the D1 level. I think there's a ways for him to come, but like you can see the vision there with him and him being very successful. He's got the length, he's got the athleticism, he can shoot the ball. I think that translates at different levels here. But I'll throw it to you first, Dion. On the little stuff you've been able to watch from him, what do you see from his game that's intriguing?
He's a little skinny. I would say so. Like I think when
D,
you look
D,
at it
D1 weight room him immediately.
immediately, so like
Immediately.
I feel like he's a bucket. Once he gets to like Michigan or Kentucky, if that's the route he goes, like he's in that weight room with the strength and conditioning coach the whole time. And I think that's the upside aspect where it's like this kid's a little small and was a bucket. If we can get him in and he kind of grows into like. I mean, he's also a freshman, so like he grows into his adult body. You know what I mean? What could he look like at the end result? It could be special. I don't think this is a kid. This kid's like a very. If Kentucky were to get him, it's different than some of the other transfers we talked about with Kentucky. Where like I don't think this kid would go to Kentucky expecting to play right away and
Mhm.
would be able to grow into his role. Or if he went to Michigan, I don't think he's going to Michigan expecting to play right away. Now maybe Dayton. At Dayton, he might be like, "Yeah, I got to get in this game. Like, what are we talking about right now?" But I think at some of the bigger schools, like I think he would want to take the time to kind of grow into his role, grow into his body a little bit. But I do believe he's a bucket. It'll be interesting where he winds up. That list is crazy.
Yeah, that list it's all over the place, and I highly recommend everybody go check out over at KSR Jacob Polacek. He had like a little interview with them and got some quotes on there. I don't want to read the whole article. I want y'all to go check that out. He does great work over at KSR, but he mentioned some things about Kentucky that he liked. Obviously, he says he grew up watching them, and all the things people say about Kentucky. They get kids to the NBA, the brand, they're well coached, and all little things like that, but. When you watch, now I haven't watched like full game stuff. I just watched like the kind of like the little recruiting breakdown thing of his game. Dog, I don't like to just like react to film like that, but this dude looks like a pro. And I know
Yeah.
it's D2 level, but like him just being a freshman, how he scores. There's like some spot up shooting on here from three. There's some driving the lane. He's punching on people, and I don't think he's touched a dumbbell yet in his life. So, you get him in a pro, you maybe have him for multiple years. You're really looking at a really good, I think a future pro. In all honesty, I think that he's going to be successful. And I guess based off that list, Dion, if you are him, where are you going?
So originally I was gonna say UAB or St. Louis. So I found his Twitter though,
Uh-huh.
and I'm watching his own personal highlight tape he posted. And this kid hit a euro into a two-handed dunk at one point. Kentucky him.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
No, he's the film is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I'm okay. Also, I'm watching another one in the background here. Dog just hit a windmill.
Yeah. On the fast break.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
tough. He has different speeds too. Like you can kind of tell he has a couple gears to him where he's a little shifty.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Kentucky him. Kentucky him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be very highly touted. I think this is the original list coming in. I think some other schools are going to get involved with him here, but it's good to see Kentucky get involved early. I definitely think that this is a kid that you could, put into the team, and I don't know what position do you think he would be? Like if we had to project him to maybe play at Kentucky next season, do you think he's like a four, like a three?
Think he's a two just because of his size at the moment.
You think?
Like once he's in the weight room, I think he ends up being like a three. But at
Mhm.
the moment, I think like I mean he's taller than Ortega. Ortega bullies him if they go ones in
That's
practice.
very true. But if he comes along, like you get him into the program, get in that weight room, and you have like a 6'8", like kind of power forward, maybe put him next to Ortega, put him next to who else you get in the transfer portal, have him with Jasper, have him with the Caden. You have Malachi Moreno at the five. Maybe you get another five. I constituted as this as well because I think this is actually a fair question to ask. Who would you rather have? And people who listen to this don't bite my head off. I'm genuinely curious here. This one's gonna stir up a little something. Would you rather have him or Nate Ament?
Give me him. Give me him. Just
You're
because
taking
you
him,
get
you're taking
three.
him over Ament?
Well, I so here's my thing with Amen and well no. We're talking about at Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
No, I'll take Amen at Kentucky. My thing with Amen is like depending on where you go, you're only going to get 1 year of Amen. If your team isn't good enough, like what does it really matter? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like if I'm Miami, I mean you take Amen to put yourself on the map, obviously, but 3 years of Elijah Freeman probably is better than 6 months of Amen.
that's very true. And then like if Elijah Freeman's that good that maybe he goes earlier than you thought, then your team's probably really good. So like
Right.
you're fine with that. But I'll be interested to see where he goes. But I feel confident in saying like he's gonna be one of those transfers we look at next season as like the guys who come from the lower level and find success at the high major Division I level. So excited to see how his recruitment plays out.